Well, 2020 continues to be an unusual year, but Walt Grayson has some observations about a few things that we did manage to settle here in Mississippi on Election Day. Walt?
Yeah, I think it's still the most unusual election I've ever seen in my life. I mean, none of us have ever experienced the voter turnout like this, and none of us, I don't think, have ever seen the emotion like this, in whichever way the presidential election turns out, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump, you got to admit, half the country is going to be very disappointed. And hopefully that disappointment can be channeled into something productive, like figuring out what went wrong and then building us a more perfect union out of it. But here in Mississippi, we voted overwhelmingly for a couple of things that should unify us more perfectly, the first of which is the state flag. The issue is settled now. We should have heard the last of anything about the old flag holding us back or dividing us. The vote to adopt the In God We Trust flag was overwhelming. Now let's take that and run with it. Let's run forward with it. And then there's the vote to approve medical marijuana. Now, here's a civics lesson for you. We have a system in place in Mississippi by which the people can put an issue on the ballot that our elected officials are afraid to deal with, like medical marijuana. You get enough signatures on a petition, you go through the process, and you vote on it. And that process was followed, and the people overwhelmingly voted this avenue of treatment for our neighbors who can't get relief for their ailments any other way or from any other medication. But I think the upshot of all of this is we here in Mississippi voted across racial lines and across party lines to approve a couple of pieces of legislation that we decided were in the best interest of our state. Now, while the rest of the nation may flip or flop over the national results, we here at home can celebrate the overwhelming decisions that we, the folks of Mississippi, made together in spite of whatever demographic or political label might be affixed to us individually. I think other states, the federal government, should give that concept a shot sometime. I mean, it works so well here on these issues. Why don't we roll up our sleeves and tackle the next big issue?